I touched the alien queen, and she arose. The expedition ship ascended through violet clouds that swirled like oil across water. Captain Marcus Webb stood at the viewport, watching the alien world emerge beneath them. For 3 months, his crew had traveled beyond charted space, following signals that promised something extraordinary. What they found was a graveyard. The ruins stretched across the horizon, crystalline structures that caught the binary suns and threw rainbows across the desert floor. Once, this had been a city of millions. Now it was tomb and monument combined, silent except for the wind that moved through broken spires, like breath through ancient lungs. "Readings are off the scale," Lieutenant Hayes reported from her station. She was young, brilliant, and perpetually optimistic, despite the darkness they often found in the cosmos. "The structures are still powered somehow. Energy signatures match nothing in our databases." Webb nodded slowly. Humanity had reached the stars only to discover they were latecomers to an ancient party. Everywhere they went, they found remnants. Dead civilizations, extinct species, ruins that asked questions no one could answer. The galaxy was a museum of failure, and humanity walked its halls alone. "Take us down to the central structure," Webb ordered. "Whatever happened here, that's where we'll find answers." The landing was smooth. Webb led a team of 5 across the plaza, their boots crunching on sand that might once have been glass. The architecture defied easy description, curves and angles that seemed to shift when viewed peripherally. At the heart of the ruins stood a pyramid, inverted, its point buried in the ground while its base reached toward the sky like an open hand. Dr. Ellis, the expedition xenobiologist, ran his scanner across the entrance. "This is recent. Someone opened this within the last standard year." "Someone?" Webb asked. "We're alone out here." "According to our surveys, yes. But these scorch marks, this particular molecular decay, it's fresh. They entered carefully, weapons ready but not raised." Humanity had learned to walk softly among the tombs of the elder races. Inside, bioluminescent patterns pulsed along the walls, responding to their presence. The corridor descended in a gentle spiral, leading them deep beneath the surface. The chamber at the bottom took Webb's breath away. It was enormous, a cathedral carved from living crystal. And at its center, suspended in a column of pale light, floated a figure. She was humanoid, but clearly alien. Her skin held an opalescent quality, colors shifting beneath the surface like auroras. She stood perhaps 7 feet tall, her frame elegant and terrible at once. Elaborate armor covered her body, grown rather than forged, and upon her head sat a crown of crystalline thorns. Her eyes were closed, her expression peaceful. "By all the stars," Hayes whispered. "Is she alive?" Ellis approached with his scanner, movements slow and reverent. "She's in stasis. Has been for approximately 10,000 years. But her cellular structure is intact. She could be revived." "Don't even think it," Webb said sharply. "We document and leave. We're not in the business of disturbing the dead." "Captain," Ellis turned, his face intense. "Do you understand what we're looking at? This is a preserved member of an elder race. Everything we know about galactic history comes from fragments and guesses. She could answer questions we've had for centuries. Or she could kill us all. That's a risk, yes. But consider what we might learn." Webb stared at the sleeping queen. Around the chamber, he could see other alcoves, other bodies and other columns of light. This had been a royal tomb, or perhaps a vault where leaders waited for a crisis that never came. The technology alone was beyond human comprehension. The knowledge locked in this alien mind could advance humanity by centuries. But knowledge had a price. It always did. "Sir," Hayes said quietly, "her species built all this. The ruins spanned 3 continents. They were powerful beyond measure. And something destroyed them anyway. Maybe she knows what. Maybe that knowledge is worth something. Webb made his decision, though part of him knew it was wrong. Curiosity was humanity's greatest strength and most dangerous weakness. Ellis, can you safely revive her? The doctor was already working. The stasis field has built-in protocols. It's designed to allow awakening. I just need to provide the correct stimulus. And what stimulus would that be? Ellis paused, his scanner showing complex readings. Physical contact. Touch, specifically. The system is biological, keyed to respond to warmth and pressure. It's meant to be intimate, personal. Someone has to lay their hand against hers. The team looked at each other. Finally, Webb stepped forward. I'll do it. If this goes wrong, it's on me. He approached the column slowly. Up close, he could see the details of her face, the delicate structure of her features. She was beautiful in an utterly alien way, like a sculpture of concepts humanity had no names for. Her hand hung at her side, palm up, as if waiting. Webb removed his glove. His hand looked small and crude next to hers. He hesitated one final moment, then pressed his palm to hers. Her skin was cool, but not cold. The texture was unlike anything he had felt, smooth as water, firm as stone. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then light pulsed through the column, through her body, through every crystalline surface in the chamber. The stasis field collapsed like a dropping curtain. Her eyes opened. They were golden, with pupils that dilated in patterns like blooming flowers. She gasped, her first breath in 10 millennia, and the sound echoed through the chamber like a bell. Her hand closed around Webb's, grip strong enough to hurt. Then she spoke, her voice resonating in frequencies that made his bones ache. The words were meaningless, but the tone was clear. Confusion, fear, demand. Easy, Webb said, though he knew she couldn't understand. You're safe. We mean no harm. She released him and stepped down from the platform. The light in the chamber brightened, as if responding to her will. She looked at the humans, studying each in turn, her expression unreadable. Then she moved to one of the other alcoves and placed her hand against the column. Another figure began to wake. A warrior, Webb guessed from the armor and weapons. The queen spoke again, her words sharp, and the warrior responded as his eyes opened. They exchanged rapid conversation, their language musical and harsh at once. More columns activated. More aliens woke. Within minutes, a dozen stood in the chamber, all looking to the queen for guidance. She turned back to Webb and his team. When she spoke this time, her words were different, slower, as if she was trying to make them understand through force of will alone. Ellis stepped forward, his universal translator working frantically. Fragments of meaning began to emerge. Danger, warning, sleep, wait, enemy, return. They were hiding, Ellis breathed. They put themselves in stasis to wait out something. Some threat. The queen pointed upward, toward the surface, toward the sky. She spoke again, urgency in her voice. The translator caught more words. Soon. Coming. Prepare. Fight. She's saying something is coming, Hayes said. Something they've been waiting to face. As if in answer, alarms began screaming on their communicators. The ship, still in orbit, was detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the system. Something huge was emerging from faster-than-light travel. Something that read as a fleet. Webb's blood ran cold. How long until they reach us? 4 hours, the pilot's voice crackled. Maybe less. Captain, these readings are off the scale. Whatever these ships are, they're bigger than anything we've ever seen. The queen was watching him, those golden eyes seeing more than they should. Then she smiled, and it was not a kind expression. She spoke one word, and the translator finally caught it clearly. Harvest. She gestured around the chamber, at the city above, at the dead world. She had not been sleeping for preservation. She had been waiting. Her people had hidden themselves, set alarms, prepared for the return of an enemy that came to dead worlds and took everything that remained and humanity. In their ignorance and pride, had woken her just in time. The queen began issuing orders. Her people moved with purpose, activating systems that had slept for ages. The pyramid hummed with power. Throughout the ruins, other structures began to wake, weapons charging, shields rising. An entire defense network, dormant but never dead, responded to her will. She turned back to Webb and extended her hand once more. This time it was not a request. It was an alliance. Her people would fight. The question was whether humanity would stand with them or run. Webb took her hand without hesitation. Whatever was coming, whatever force had destroyed this mighty civilization once before, it would find more than ruins waiting. It would find a queen awakened, her warriors ready, and a new species too stubborn to know when they were outmatched. The alien queen arose, and with her, hope kindled in the darkness between the stars. Humanity would learn the price of curiosity, but perhaps they would also learn the value of courage. Together, they would face what came from the void. The harvest fleet approached. But this time, the fields were not empty.